So this was a very crazy episode of Rezero. This is probably my favorite episode so far of the second curse season 2. We've had some pretty eventful episodes, and we also had the kiss in this season. But Jesus, man, poor Amelia. Now, if you have not watched this, do not come here to watch it first. Go watch it. Do not let me ruin this for you. Let's get into this. So, we know Amelia goes back to the big door, right? She goes back there and Pandora's already there. So in my mind, it was either going to be, because people were getting pissed that Amelia went back, but it's like Pandora's just going to find her. She can literally rewrite like everything. She's basically has a power that is on par, at least it looks on par, with Subaru's Return by Death. So she gets back there, Pandora's there. Pandora goes, "Are you like you can open up the gate like a crazy person," without her eyes like big and wide. But to me, whenever she talks now, all I see is like a person just staring at you like super intensely. So she tells her, she's like, "Oh, you can open the gate, and then I will respect your wishes, and then I'll go." And then Amelia is like panicking because she's like, "Oh, you don't have the key? Why are you panicking?" Amelia's like 4 or 6 or something. So she's panicking. She's trying to figure out a way that she can get this lady to leave, so she can just have her family and everything can just be okay. She gets to the door and she's thinking so hard about it that she manifests the key. And then Pandora calls her the daughter of a witch. So again, we don't know who Amelia's mother is. It could be Satella, like as far as we know or whatever, or it could just be some random lady, and we just don't know. And Satella could just be her like sister or something. Like you never know. It's so off, but either way, you never know, right? So Amelia, she has the key in her hand now, and Pandora can't see it. Only people who are worthy of opening it up can see it, which makes me think, is it just Amelia, or is it the other candidates as well? Is that the reason why they're also candidates? That's complete headcanon, but we'll just keep going. So Amelia is like, "I can't open it. Mother said not to open it." And so Pandora's like, "Wow, that's so amazing. You really care about that promise you made to your mother. You know what? I'll give you 2 options. Either you can respect my wishes that I just asked you and open up the gate." She kind of says it like that. Like she says it with a stupid, like, nice tone, but it's kind of snarky the way it comes out to me. Then the other one was like, "You can respect your mother's wishes." And I don't think she said she would go in that one, but she just said, "You can keep your promise," because promises are important. Um, she's like the witch of vanity, or something that's close to pride, and you can hear it in the way she's talking. She's very condescending in a way. And so Amelia says, "I'm choosing the promise to my mom," which is crazy because that means little girl could have died right there. It's honestly lucky that she didn't, and I think the only reason why Pandora did not kill her, or at least threaten her more than she already was because of the key that Amelia holds. Amelia is clearly a necessary character. She has shonen protagonist plot armor where now the villain can't kill them because they specifically need an item from the protagonist. So she just has to wait. So Fortuna gets there. She's kind of beat up. She throws icicles, and Pandora's like, "You should be careful where you're aiming," which made me worried that she was going to accidentally kill Amelia. She shoots icicles through her, and then, Pandora's doing her thing where I'm like, I have infinite shadow clones, and you can't actually kill me. Fortuna's like, she's like killing, by the way. Can we talk about like what? So Fortuna's bad levels went up to like, it was like at like a 7 to me, like, she looks good, but it went to like a 10 after watching her get that icicle and go, ha, right through the neck. It went to a 10. It went to a 10 immediately. I was like, oh, you know what? Fortuna's kind of bad though. So wait, anyways, she's like chopping through the Pandoras. Then she moves her hand and slaps one of the Pandoras. But then Pandora shows herself as Amelia, and she immediately panics and it's like, "Oh my gosh, Amelia!" And she's like, "You can't even bring yourself to hit the person that you like despise." I don't know. The wording was weird, and it made me go like, "Did she mean Amelia?" But I don't think so. So then after that, Fortuna is like, "If you calm down and listen, I'll allow you to talk, and then if you can convince her, then I'll leave." So then she gets over to Amelia. The two of them are just talking. She's like, "I'm very proud of you for keeping your promise. Now you, Pandora, need to freaking go." And right when that happens, Juice comes jumping over the door, like real high over the air. Eyes are covered in blood. Out of his own vision that we get to look through, he can barely see, and he shoots an unseen hand the moment that Fortuna also shoots the icicles. But Pandora does, I'm pretty sure she does the thing. I know her wording is, you saw what you needed to saw, but as we've kind of explained, she's a little bit of a condescending prick, okay? So, hand goes flying down right through Fortuna's chest, and she's dead. Blood everywhere. Amelia in shock, just all gushing everywhere. She falls down to death. Juice is like, I got her. Fortuna, run. And his vision has replaced Amelia with Fortuna, I think, a little bit, and that might be the reason why he starts going lunatic to try to find her later on in life, obviously. And after that, she's laying on the floor. Pandora's like, no, you saw what you wanted to see. Juice is losing it. Like, he is I'm pretty sure I put it for the thumbnail of face. I didn't, obviously show more after that. I just put that he was showing crazy, which everybody was expecting. But he's starting to lose it now because he's just killed the person he's loved. And then she starts filling his head with, you did it for love. I stayed. And he starts doing his repeating thing. Naze. Why? And we really see him start to break down. His eyes start bleeding, like actually bleeding again, like he does. And now we kind of know why Juice has this one, admiration for love. Because you remember when he kills Rem, the first thing he does is go, sate. There's something about that is why it's love. I can respect that. And he drops her, and then he walks out. And he does his little cackle thing. But it's kind of the same thing here. He was in her position, but he did worse. So that's that's the reason why. So sadly, we get the reason why Juice is there. Amelia is comforting her dying mother at like 6 and being extremely mature about it, can I add. She's holding her and like, it's okay, mother, because she's Fortuna is like sad that she didn't keep her promise. She's crying. She's like, I failed my brother. I felt your sister-in-law is gonna kill me. Like, she's gonna friggin', there's nothing I can do. And then Amelia goes, I'm proud of you. And man, if you're talking about tear jerkers, I'm trying not to get tear jerked right now, bro. I was like, freak, man. That's some heavy stuff to force a kid to do. And then she dies in her arms. Just, man, dude, I'm trying not to. I'm not trying to get emotional. So, after that, Pandora goes, well, you see, your promise is done. She's dead. So, you can open up the freaking door now. So if you really rate it, what really happened was Pandora went, okay, you've made your choice. So I'm going to lead you back to the choice I want. I'm going to let him run over here. I'm going to let him kill her. Because that's why she didn't take the unseen hand away from him after she erased what happened. But she didn't erase the one thing that would be important to her. The one thing that wouldn't have gotten Fortuna killed. So then the promise would just be no and she'd be forced to leave. No, she got what she wanted. So Amelia puts on the clip of her dead aunt, or mother as was raised, and goes berserk. Like, when I say berserk, I mean screw Fortuna's ice powers. She had ice growing out of this lady and exploding, crushing her in multiple places. Juice is just sitting there going like, he's just broken, he's done. Fortuna is slowly freezing now over her face as Amelia is just breaking Pandora apart in multiple places. Pandora's like, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Someone else says she sounds like a therapist. Yeah, just like that. And Amelia is breaking and breaking and breaking her and breaking her and killing her and killing her and killing her and killing her. But it's too much. Like, Amelia is too strong. She's way too strong and does not know how to handle this stuff. Had Juice been able to, can you remember Juice wanted to teach her about the celestial spirits, and maybe they would have found out about her magic normally, she wouldn't be going Ninetales-ish right now. But she is. Like, that's just, you can't control it at this point. She's just saying, die, 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 die. And Pandora keeps trying to have a conversation with her. She's not having it. So Pandora's like, okay, I guess I'll just have to see you later. You're already freezing yourself as it is. Amelia's like half frozen. The forest is freezing like it wasn't Frozen Bonds. She's freezing the elves. And Pandora's like, I guess I'm just gonna have to, give you the ease of not remembering. And I think the reason why is if she comes back to find Amelia without her memory, she can get Amelia to do what she wants. Again, everything that this lady wants to do is evil. Let's just say what it is. This isn't like echidna where you can be like, well, it's a part of her greed. Sometimes echidna does stuff that's sort of evil because of greed. Nope, this lady's twisted. So she comes up to Amelia's forehead, gets the avatar spirit, and goes, and then, erases her memory, not her bending. And then now Amelia is like a husk in the ice, waiting, and she's remembering everything about her mother and stuff, but I think all the memories are starting to go away. That's them showing that they're fading away. And then Juice gets up and then starts walking away with Pandora, crackling and cackling, and I'm sure she's gonna fill his head with a bunch of stuff. So we don't know how he stayed alive so long also, by the way, because he's not frozen in ice. I figured what was gonna happen was he'd be frozen in ice, but not. I think the one thing I skipped over when Amelia said she was proud of her mother is she said she loved her too while she was holding her in her arms, dying. That's just cold-blooded, man. That's some sad writing, dude. That's some super sad writing. What else was I gonna say as well? After that, we had Amelia do that. We had her. Oh, Amelia starts facing her past now. So now we get Amelia talking about it, and she is standing pretty strong about it. Echidna is not letting up because she again hates the woman who stole her man. So smack talk, envious talk. Every day Echidna opens her mouth, Rem gets a little higher on my tier list. Cause Rem lost, but she wasn't salty about it either, Rem realized as long as she doesn't say anything, she might still have a chance. But Echidna is just burying herself in a hole. It's making her character a lot better, but in a hole. So she's like, can you handle the fact that you killed your situation got your mother killed? Are you regretful about it? You realize that you're the one who froze the elves. You realize that they might all be dead. It is your own fault, and there's going to be nothing you can do about it. What will you say to them after you do that? Just question after question after question after question after question, because she's just trying to get something out of her. Something. And I said it before, I don't think, it wasn't... Amelia broke multiple times, but I'm going to say this now. I think she took fun in it. I know we don't see it. I know this is all my headcanon. Don't use this for lore. If you like Echidna, you don't have to think this way. But to me, it feels like she most likely than not took as much spite of this as she could before this. Because we already know she didn't like her. It's just as simple as it is. And plus, Echidna had to kind of act like her when she first met Subaru, because she kind of plays off of people's emotions just a little bit. Not as bad as Pandora. Somehow, again, I'm shocked that we have somebody less... who is more deprived. You know nothing about the Greedith. You would know what I'm talking about. You know the extent of Echidna in the Greedith. But with this, it's like, whoa, okay, all right. With Echidna asking on those questions, Amelia is certain she's in her thing. She's like, I do not regret my actions. The only thing I regret is I was not strong enough or smart enough to handle the situation, which is fine. She was like 6. So yeah, of course. And then after that, Echidna's like, she just straight up, she's just like, yeah, I freaking hate you. And Amelia's like, yeah, I don't think I hate you as much as you hate me. She technically does. She doesn't say I like you. She says, I don't think I nearly hate you as much. Then Echidna also says, I don't think these next 2 trials are going to be as tough for you anyways. So that also freaking sucks for her. Which makes sense, because Amelia's issues isn't really her future. In her mind now, her future should be a positive one, right? The only thing she'll see is a bad future. And to Amelia's credit, she doesn't know it, but she's kind of seen that in a bajillion other timelines. And she kind of handled it well, so far in my opinion. Usually she wasn't the one to freak out when everybody started dying. It was Subaru. What else was I gonna say? And then the president, she's now here. Their biggest issue in the present was the past. So it's not like Subaru, who has 100 bajillion presents, possibly. And then his past is just well, stop being a hikikomori. We finally got an opening this episode. Subaru. There's a little bit of spoilers in it, so I wasn't super happy about that, but we kind of know where this is going. So I wasn't like, oh my gosh. My thing about the openings and endings is it takes away from time to the episode, and I was okay with having more episode. Subaru, Otto, and Garfield are now doing the Eddie trio thing, so it's cool with that. They were like, Ryuzu, go back and go rest. Thank you for telling us about why Sanctuary needs to stay, or why you guys thought Sanctuary needed to stay. And they wouldn't let Garfield do it because they're like, you're just gonna keep her up. Ram, can you go do it with can you go, you and the other Rizu, can you guys go take her back? So they go take her back. Ram makes a dig at both Garfield and Otto. Amelia's trial's not over while this is going on, so I'm guessing this is like the in-between time while the trial's going on. And they go all the way over to Roswell. Roswell finally meets Otto. He gets to introduce himself. Roswell's wearing his makeup because Subaru told him to. To doll himself up before he's about to lose and have a wonderful night out, losing today. So Subaru is like, Roswell's like, okay, so why did you ask me here? And Subaru kind of ignores him for a second and then goes on his own speech, which is a nice touch. Subaru is now in his own rhythm. He's like, as you can see here, we have a guy who wasn't even predicted in your stupid prophecy. And he's showing him how his prophecy could possibly be wrong. And Roswell's being, he's sticking to his guns or whatever. He's keeping his confidence deal face on. And Subaru like introduces Otto, and then Roswell's like, I will not overlook you again this next time. And he's like, and I see that you also brought Garfield here too, which is also like, it also makes it a bit weird. So Subaru is now, we have confirmation to a degree that he is cutting the book in parts. And Subaru tells Roswell, what I want you to do is I want you to surrender before this gets worse. You should surrender now. So Subaru's in this game, man. Subaru's so comfortable. It's been pretty great seeing our characters now get to the point where they are now in a winning part, because Subaru suffered season 1 Subaru suffering plus with season 2 suffering, it's just a whole nother level of 2020. Like oh my gosh, bro, I feel like the timing with these years have been like really good with the anime so far. You want to get people feeling like Subaru for a moment, put them in 2021 after 2020, right? So we get our ending song, we get our opening, Otto gets to introduce himself, and now we have Subaru making his like grand bet. We now know why Betelgeuse is the way he is. It was really sad, and that now I have to rewatch season 1 and like watch the little character traits he has, because this was written before, and it wasn't like this was like a thing they filled in like, oh well, this is why he acts like that, ha 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 ha. This is something that was written in the light novel and visual novel. So we like, it's just there, like this has always been there, and I love that. I love those kind of touches, this deep world building they do in Rezero. This is literally, I think this is probably my favorite episode. I'm not as excited about the opening because I love having more content. Everyone was complaining, and I get you love opening animation, but you love the show more. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, be sure to like. I'm not going to keep you too long. Be sure to let me know in the comments, what was your favorite part about this episode? Did you feel sad for Amelia? Did you feel sad for Juice? Do you hate Pandora now? Do you enjoy her as a character? Honestly, if we're going villain tier wise, I enjoy her as a character. This is some Frieza levels of, I just don't really care about anybody else except myself. It's like when you play fighters as Frieza and he screams out like he's actually hurt. Like, I can't believe you punched me. A tyrant who kills people over and over again. The moment she breaks character, Pandora breaks character, it's going to be one of the most refreshing moments to me. It's going to be one of the best because she's going to be like, what? The only person I think who can deal with her is Subaru, because he has a power similar to her. It's like, we have to really keep that in perspective. She can rewrite. She's basically, what am I talking about? She's literally returning by death. She is literally returning every single time she dies. She just doesn't start a whole new timeline when she does it. She just starts where she is. And then she can also rewrite crap. So she's a stupidly overpowered shonen villain, and Amelia's probably gonna have to become a super overpowered shonen protagonist, or Subaru's gonna have to take her spot in the last minute, or they're gonna have to do it together the way that Juice and Fortuna could not fight together, which again, I think they're an allegory. Hopefully Subaru's witch powers don't get him to kill like Amelia or to take her out in the end, or they don't conflict with each other. They have to figure out a way to use their powers together, which is gonna be the very important thing. Okay, I'm going. All right, peace out. See ya.
Don't leave!